My name is Gavin Evans, and this is my review of Terrifier 3. And up until this point, I've been very mixed on this franchise. Hated the first movie, but the second movie was a pleasant surprise. It had a much better script, much better characters, it knew what it wanted to be tonally, and there are some horrific moments, and thankfully, this franchise just keeps getting better and better. This third movie is the best one yet. Still not great, but it's getting pretty damn close. So, let's begin by talking about what you want to hear about. How bloody is this movie? And the answer is pretty fucking bloody. This movie is brutal and gnarly and disturbing, and it just fully goes for it. But I gotta be honest, maybe there's a little too much blood here, because when every scene is filled with blood and guts, eventually it doesn't pack as much of a punch as it could if you just held back every now and again. But that said, there are some truly incredible moments here. There's one scene with Art in a bar with these three other guys that escalates so incredibly well, and the payoff to that scene is just perfection. There's a scene where he's at a mall dressed as Santa Claus, and that scene is effective and horrific and unpredictable, and I loved it. And there's a shower scene which just fully goes for it. So there are some great bloody moments here. Just maybe hold back a little bit. And I also like how, just being honest, everybody gets killed. Kids, adults, nobody is safe. So because of that, you're just on edge because you feel like anything could happen to anyone at any time. And the practical effects in this movie truly do look fantastic. Damien Leone is such an impressive filmmaker, and what he's able to do visually, I just love. There's a nice grainy aesthetic to this movie, and by the way, did I mention it's a Christmas movie, and I fucking loved that? This movie just looks and sounds and feels like Christmas. The red and green lights, the Christmas aesthetic, the music choices, it's all just wonderful. One of my favorite scenes in this movie is Art the Clown driving up to a house while listening to God Wesley Merry Gentleman. Just a small moment where nothing happens, but the vibes were immaculate. And yeah, I also think there's a really good story being told here about trauma and trying to move on and how people move on in different ways and how people view you differently afterwards. There is plenty of substance to this movie, and I like the mythology on display. Especially when they explain what Art the Clown was up to in the 5 years between the second movie and this one. Just really worked for me. But then we've also got the cast, and it's a real strength of this movie. David Howard Thornton as Art the Clown is just perfection. This guy is crazy and unpredictable and sadistic and funny and uncomfortable, and he does it all so incredibly well, but you never know what side of this character you're going to get, and it just has you on edge. The fact that he's so playful is both funny and sinister, and he just embodies evil so perfectly. There's a reason why this character is an icon now, and so much of that is due to David's performance. Lauren Lavilla, I thought, did a good job in the second movie, but I think she's great here. She has much more to work with, and she's able to pull it off. She carries this movie so incredibly well, and I was really impressed. Antonella Walls plays Gabby, and I thought she did a real good job. She represents love and innocence, and she did that really well. Elliot Fulham is back as Jonathan, and I actually think he's better in this movie. He's not in it as much, but it's still a pretty good performance. And then we get Samantha Scafidi, who's back as Victoria from the first movie, and I loved what they did with her character here. She is dark and sinister and evil, and she's a much more compelling character than she was before. Really great work. So, yeah, I think this movie is better written, it's better directed, it's better acted, and thankfully the movie is only 2 hours long. My big issue with the second movie was the runtime, but that said, you could still trim this one down by 10 to 15 minutes. And my bigger issue with this movie is the pacing. There's no real sense of escalation, and the ending kind of just happens. There was a point where I thought that Sienna was having a dream, and nope, turns out it's real life and it's happening and it's now the climax. And I'm like, oh, that happened very suddenly. I would have liked it if the movie built to it a little better. So that threw me off for a bit, but I do like the direction this movie goes in. Once again, it's mean. It's willing to go to those places, and it left me with more questions than answers, but I'll say this, I'm definitely hooked for the third movie. Fourth movie, I mean. So, yes, this third movie is the best one yet. I love the look of this movie. The Christmas vibes are just perfection. The practical effects are fantastic. I love how mean and disturbing and brutal this movie is. It can also be really funny at times. It can also be uncomfortable. The cast does a really great job, and the story has more substance than you might think. I still got some issues here and there, but this is a step in the right direction, so I'm giving Terrifier 3 a 7.5 out of 10. Okay, have you seen Terrifier 3? What did you think about it? Let me know in the comments down below. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, stay tuned for more videos soon, and Gavin